Hi, my name is Chap Bettis, and I'm the author of The Disciple Making Parent. And this is my audio blog, where I read some of my blog posts in audio format for your convenience. Well, in today's episode, we're going to be thinking about ways to persevere in the parenting marathon. How can we persevere in this parenting marathon? Earlier this month, more than 50,000 people ran in the New York City Marathon. Last year, my daughter participated in this famous race, and she introduced our family to marathon culture. Sharon and I went to cheer her on, and having never attended or run in a marathon, I was surprised at all that I saw. As our daughter ran, I thought about the life lessons represented, and one related to parenting. Parenting is like a marathon. Before the race, you're fresh and rested. You start with excitement. But this is not a sprint. There are painful moments. There are times you hit a wall and think you can't keep going. But one day, it's over. Infants are grown. Bedrooms are empty. The house is quiet. So how do we run the parenting marathon well and finish strong? Well, let's look at some different ways. Number one, the race requires endurance. The New York City Marathon is 26.2 miles through all 5 boroughs. It's long, it's varied, it's painful. There are hills and bridges and streets and parks. First-time runners know in theory that it can be painful, but when you actually experience the length and the exhaustion, you wonder if you're going to finish. Similarly, seeking to faithfully disciple our children as Christian parents is long and varied and a painful journey. It's not a sprint. There are certainly moments of joy, but also moments of pain when you want to quit. But this is expected because you realize you're running a marathon. So number one, the race requires endurance. Number two, running with others gives strength. Some in the marathon ran with teams. Others ran individually, but they were surrounded by a mass of 50,000 runners. So even if you were running alone, you were not alone. Family discipleship, like that marathon, is a community endeavor. We need like-minded parents in the church. And though ultimately parenting our kids is on our shoulders, we all need the camaraderie that parenting in a robust community offers. So number two, running with others gives strength. Number three, encouragement makes a big difference. More than 1 million fans line the New York City race course. And what are they doing? Well, constantly cheering. Since many participants put their names on their shirts, complete strangers yell out encouragement by name. Well, not only do we need encouragement, we should also give it. A parent you know is tired, discouraged, ready to quit. Your voice and words can be just the thing they need. Whom could you encourage by name this week? Number three, encouragement makes a big difference. Number four, you will be given the needed resources at the right time. When the runners start, they don't have all they need for the race. 26 miles is a long way, but the organizers provide refreshments along the way, and generous spectators spontaneously offer refreshment too. Similarly, parents don't have all the resources they need when they begin their course, but God gives grace and refreshment when we need it. You can trust the organizer of your race that he will provide refreshment. Look for it. It will be there. Number four, you'll be given the needed resources at the right time. Number five, you aren't competing with others. Other than a few professional athletes, no one is competing against the other runners. Each just wants to finish. Perhaps you want to beat a personal best time, but the main goal is simply to finish. Well, likewise, parenting is not a competitive sport. Yet we so often compare ourselves with others. The truth is, God just calls you to do your best. He knows your unique circumstances and limitations. Let the example of others inspire you, but not condemn you. You aren't competing against them. Number 5, you aren't competing with others. Number 6, others who care about you are watching. Each marathon runner is provided with an electronic chip to track his or her movements. And it also allows others to follow them on the internet. So as my 24-year-old daughter was running through New York City, her 81-year-old grandmother and her Sunday school class were watching from a smartphone in Alabama. We parent with eternity in mind. God cares about how we display His glory in our homes. Our example is being watched and encourages others. Number 6, others who care about you are watching. Number 7, it's all about the joy of finishing well. At the end of the marathon, what does a runner have to show for 5 hours of pain? There are cramps, sore muscles, and blisters. But there's also the joy of a race well run. Each finisher receives a medal and a warming poncho emblazoned with the words, "Finisher." As exhausted runners walk around New York wearing the blue ponchos that say "Finisher," complete strangers call out, "Good job," and congratulations. We can't control what our children do with their lives, but we can finish well. We can know in our conscience that we did our best. Not perfect, but our best. Duty is ours, results are God's. We evangelize and disciple our kids and trust the God who made them and pray that we will hear, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Family discipleship in the Christian life is not a sprint. It's a marathon. And you may be at mile 1, 18, or 25. Others can encourage you along the way, but ultimately you're running for an audience of one. You're not competing against anyone else. The King who sits on the throne is also inside you, providing strength and wisdom. Walk if you have to, but keep going. It will be worth the pain in the end. And best of all, your Father is waiting at the finish line with open arms. If you enjoyed today's podcast, you can find more like them at thedisciplemakingparent.com. And while you're there, check out our bookstore for resources that can help you in the discipleship process. And let me ask you, if you enjoyed today's podcast, would you share it with others? Who can you tell about this podcast? You might just change their life.